Let's go lead code 229 majority element 2. Give a integer array size n and find all elements that appears more than n over 3 times. So it needs us to solve the problem in linear and O1 space, right? So that means that we can use a more voting algorithm. But for this question, we need a candidate one and candidate two, right? We call vote one and vote two, right? So that means that for every number coming, right? So if this number equals vote one, so we have count one um, increased by one. If equals else if it equals vote two, right? Then we have count two increased by one, right? And then say else if that is not equal to vote one or vote two, right? There are several cases that is if count one greater than zero and count two greater than zero, we have count one decreased by one, count two decreased by one. And then else if, for example, count one equals to zero, right? That means we need to change the vote one, right? And the last case is that if vote two, count two equals zero, then count one is not a zero, then we need to change the vote two, right? So the thing is that this is the first part that when we go through the code, right? The first part we get a vote one and a vote two, and in the end we should still go through the whole element trying to see if vote one and vote two they have count more than n over three. If they satisfy the condition, right? We'll add to list. One thing is that this question can only have a list to be result, no result or one result or two result, right? Because the vote one has more than n over three, and vote two has n over more than n over three. There cannot be another number more than this kind of counts, right? So let's write code for this. We need int vote one, and let's set integer dot mean value, and count one equals zero, vote two equals integer dot mean value, and count two equals zero. Right? So I'll do that for every num in nums. So what we do is that if num equals vote one, right? Then we have count one increased by one. Else if num equals vote two, then we'll have count two and increased by one, right? So then that is else, that is they doesn't equal to vote one or vote two. But in this case, what we say that it will say if doesn't equal, right? We need to see if the counts one and the counts two, they are both equal, greater. If count one greater than zero, and we can put this if, for example, count one already equals to zero, right? Then we'll have vote one equals none and count one equals one, right? And say else if count two equals to zero, then what we have is vote two equals to none, and count two equals one, right? And the last case scenario is that both count one and count two are greater than zero, so we just have count one decrease, right? And count two also decrease by one. And we need to check this word one and word two whether they exit the we have this candidates, right? And we need to check whether they have the majority. So we have list integer result equals new array list. So what do we do is that let's set this counter one initially set as 0 again, right? When count 2 equals 0. So what I'll do is that for the int now nums, if num equals vote 1, right? Then we'll have count 1 this. And I'll say if num equals vote 2, right? We have count 2 increase by 1, right? So what we write is that if count 1 greater than n over 3, we result should add a vote 1, right? Result add vote 1. And if count 2 greater than n over 3, then we'll have result add vote 2. In the end, just a return result. We need a let's have n int n equals the length, right? Nums dot length. And Python code should be very similar. Let's have vote 1, count 1, vote 2, count 2 equals 0, 0, 0, 0, right? So for every num in nums, what we do is that if num equals vote 1, right? Then we'll have count 1 should increase by 1. We'll say else if num equals to vote 2, then we'll have count 2 plus equal to 1, right? And then we'll have else if right, if count 1 equals to 0, then we'll change count 1. So we'll have change vote 1. Vote 1 equals num, and count 1 equals to 1, right? And if count 2 equals to 0, then we have vote 2 equals to none, and count 2 equals 1. And the last case is both count 1 and count 2 greater than 0. So we'll have count 1 decreased by 1. And count 2 should decrease by 1. And we should have one more pass to check if they satisfy that condition, right? Then what is we set count 1 equals to 0, count 2 equals to 0 again, right? And we need the result. Result equals this. So what we do is that for n in nums, nums for num in nums. Let's have the n also have an n, right? N equals this length. So let's say if we count 1, let's if num equals vote 1, then we'll have count 1 should plus equal to 1, right? And let's say if num equals vote 2, then we'll have count 2 plus equal to 1, right? So we'll say if count 1 is greater to 1 over three n divided by 3, right? Then we'll have result append vote 1. And we'll say if count 2 greater than n divided by 3, we're going to have result should append vote 2. In the end, just return result. Here there is if this one equals the thing set of this vote, let's not set as 0 because 0 will be one of the candidates, right? Let's set this one as none, right? No. So the just find the case because all in minus infinity. We need to initial value set not in the range, right?